Hi there everybody, it's Chris here at Bluerhino Safaris. Today I am fairly excited to release this tour coming up in 2023. I've been working on this trip for myself for a long time, and I had a private group in August that was postponed due to COVID and all kinds of things, where this tour happened, and I thought that would be a good time to duplicate this and extend it a little bit, modify slightly, extend it, and make it more available to my regular guests. So it's on the website. If you go under the 2023 tours, it is called the Botswana Deluxe, and it is 13 nights in Botswana, but it has a twist on it. So if you've done Botswana before, please have a look at this trip. If you've never done Botswana before, have a look at this trip. It's a year from now. You have a year to save. It is more expensive than it normally would be because we are doing the more exclusive parts. Normally when, as a tour operator, I go into the parks, I try to keep it as cheap as possible for my guests. So we sleep outside of the park, we go in as day visitors, and we try to cut costs wherever we can. But on this trip, for this year specifically, we are sleeping in the parks. We are sleeping in Savuti at the Savuti campsite. We are sleeping at Third Bridge for 3 nights. We are doing the boats. We are sleeping on exclusive islands in the Okavango Delta. This is just an unreal trip. We are literally in the parks for like 10 days in a row. So there's no ducking and diving and trying to save a bit of cost and do a bit of extra kilometers. We are going right to where the action is, and we are going to stay there for a long time. But it is a bit more expensive. We'll go through it now and I'll explain it to you. So I call it my Botswana Deluxe, and departure date is 20 July 2023, just outside of school holidays. I don't want any kids on this trip because we're going to be on the boats, and it could be dangerous for children falling over and those type of things. It's not dangerous, but it's just a risk, I think, that is not necessary at this point in time. It's also very exclusive. I can only fit 12 people onto the boat. That's it. It's a bigger boat, but I'm limiting it to 12. No more than that. Otherwise, the boat is just going to be too full and the group's going to get too big. It's going to be nice to have a small group. So the first part of the trip is a 10-night section where we do the Chobe River Drive, we do Savuti for 2 nights, Kwai, Northgate for 1 night, Third Bridge for 3 nights, and then we finish up in Maun. And then the second section is for 3 nights, and that is 2 nights on the boats, on the islands, and then the last night in Maun with catering included as well. So that first section is 14,000 Rand per person. It is more expensive than normal because we are sleeping in the parks. If we sleep outside the parks, we can save a bit of money. Also, Botswana's park fees have just increased in the last month, and it's significantly more. It's about double the price of what it used to be, just less than that. So it's very expensive these days to go into Botswana parks, and that's why the prices have climbed significantly. So let's go through it, and I'll explain to you what it's all about once we get there. So let's go to the map. So we're going to start at Nata. Our first night is in Nata. Now, if you arrive early in the afternoon, you can do the Pan drive with the lodge themselves, and you can go out for the afternoon. They normally leave at about 3, I think, and they're back at 7, just in time for dinner. There's a nice restaurant at Nata Lodge, so we'll have dinner there. That's for your own account at this point. But there's a nice restaurant. Point is, you don't have to worry about cooking, so a little bit more of the deluxe type stuff. I could include it in the fees, but then I have to charge everybody a set amount, and that becomes unfair towards people that do not eat that much, and I don't want to do that. So that night is for your own account. Then we do the 3 hours up to Kasane. The idea is to be in Kasane just after lunch in the afternoon, and then you have time in the afternoon to do the boat cruise. I'm also not including that in the price because some people have done it before and they don't want to do the boat cruise again. But if you haven't done it before, the boat cruises in the afternoon, sunset cruise, Goes out at about 3:30 and it's back at about 7 again. Very nice if you've never done it, worthwhile doing it. So that's our second night in Kasane. Next morning we finalize our shopping, make sure we have everything, because from there we are going to spend a week or 8 days in the bush away from all shops. So what I'm doing is I'm doing the river drive, going in at the Kasane side and all the way on the Chobe River, drive all the way to Ngoma Gate. Ngoma Gate is right on the other side. We'll have stop for coffee, we stop for lunch, we just have a jol for the day. Once we pop out at Ngoma Gate, we travel down to a campsite which is outside of the park, but it's between the Chobe River section and the Savuti section. So we're sleeping there just to give us enough time to do everything. Nice campsite, hot showers, all the rest. We do that for the night, and then the next morning we set off into the Savuti area. We go through to Savuti. We'll be in Savuti fairly early afternoon. We can sort our stuff out, go for a bit of a game drive, and then we are there for 2 nights. So the next day I'll take you out to Rhino Flay. If you haven't been to Rhino Flay, we'll do the pans, we'll do the Bushman paintings, and we'll do all of the stuff in the Savuti area that can be done. Coffee, lunch stop, all kinds of fun that we have. And then our second night at Savuti, we sleep in Savuti itself. Hot showers, flush toilets, normal Savuti thing. Then from Savuti, we go down to Northgate, the Kwai Gate. I normally push through, but again, on this trip, we want to spend a bit more time and just enjoy the fun of the park itself. And there's a lot of good sightings at Northgate itself. So we're going to sleep at Kwai campsite. And then from Kwai, we go through to Third Bridge. Now, Third Bridge is one of my all-time favorite areas. The campsite is good, but they struggle a little bit with baboons and wild dogs and lions. 2 weeks ago, I was there, and they said, no, the lions are sleeping outside of the gate for the whole day, about 7 lions. So everybody in camp could see the lions from the campsite, basically, because they were just sleeping there. That's also where I had my incident with the wild dogs. I'll put the video link down a little bit further, and you can have a look at that as well. But yeah, 3 days at Third Bridge. We'll do the Kakanaka area, Paradise Pools, Deadfly Island, depending on the water levels, and then we'll go down to the Blackpool area, the Klini area, and we'll travel around there for the 2 days that we are there, just to see what it's like. And it really is a nice place. In the central area of the Moremi, between Southgate and Third Bridge, just south of First Bridge, there's a whole new water section there that opened up recently. In any case, once we're done there, you can see it's going to be fun. Once we're done there, we head down to Maun, and that is our last night for the first section of the trip. I want to be in Maun just after lunch. We can do a bit of shopping, make sure we have everything that we need, and then the next day we are out on the boats. So you can do just the first section, and that night in Maun is your last night. You go home from there, you skip the boats. You're welcome to do that. But if you stay on, then we are going to do a very special piece of the trip that I've been looking forward to for a long time. I've got boats organized, I've got captains organized. We take our tents, we take our food, and we're just going to have fun for 2 nights on the boats. No driving, no dust. We leave our vehicles in the campsite, in Maun, plugged in. They can stay there, they're safe, no problems there. And we head out on the boats. So the first morning, we're on the boat. It's about 4 or 5 hours on the boat to get to our campsite. We offload our stuff at the campsite, and we go out for a game drive on the boats in the afternoon, and then back to the island. And I'll set up a shower. We'll see what we have to do with regards to ablutions, whether we dig a single ablution or we just do our own thing. It doesn't really matter. But then we have a braai, and these next 3 nights are all included in the price. So that dinner is included. We're going to braai. I'll still see if I can do a bread there, or if I'll do some pap and sauce, or maybe a bit of creamed potatoes, something like that, and just have a nice braai meal and see what we can get. Everything has to be transported on the boats to get it there. So we try to be economical with how we do things, but we have some fun. The next day, we'll see how it goes, but probably in my mind, we'll go out in the morning for a bit of a a boat cruise, a early morning boat cruise just after coffee. Have a look around, see what there is, and then come back or go out or whatever we do for a champagne breakfast. Get some bacons and eggs and champagne and orange juice and the whole toot. And then enjoy the rest of the day, and then in the afternoon again go out for boat rides depending on where the game is, what the conditions are like. We'll figure the day out as it is. That evening back in camp again, and then we'll do dinner again, something that is easy to do in the bush. I'll still decide if we'll do some form of a stew or another braai. Probably we can do chicken or something else. We'll still see. It's not a big thing. And then, that's our second night in the bush on the islands. The next morning is our last morning. After breakfast, coffee and rusks and whatever else we bring. We're back on the boats, we pack our stuff, and we head back down to Maun for the last night. Last night we'll have dinner in the restaurant in Maun, and that will be our last night and farewell for the trip. Morning after that, I'm up early, head back to Johannesburg to start preparing for the next trip. But that is the plan for next year, 2023. You have a year to save money. If you save a little bit of money, then this is not a far trip. So fuel is not going to be a backbreaker on this one, but it is going to be more expensive than your normal Botswana trip, because I'm trying to do all of these things that we normally try and skip because it's just a little bit too expensive. So save your money, do your thing. Make your booking, make sure it comes in. The boat, once you've paid your deposits for the boats and I've confirmed that everything is arranged, then that is not going to be refundable, because I have to pay the boats and make sure that we have them up front. I can't leave that for the day that we arrive. All right, so it's going to be a lot of fun. As I travel through Africa, and I've been doing this for 12 years now, but as I travel through, I refine some of the trips, change a few things here, add a bit, take a bit away, and I ultimately arrive at these trips that I really think is really good. And this is one of the first Botswana trips that I'm super excited about. I love my normal Botswana trip of 7 days. I like to just go in 7 days and I'm out again. But an extended Botswana trip is always worth it, especially if you focus on Savuti, Chobe, and the Moremi area. Include 3 days on the boats. It's just brilliant. So for those 2 nights on the island, you're going to have to bring your own tent. I have some dome tents. I have mattresses. I have a lot of stuff myself. You don't have to rent it from me. You can just use it. But if I don't have any more, I don't have any more. So if you have a ground tent and 2 mattresses and a sleeping bag, just bring it along. You'll need that for sleeping. The rest I'll take care of. We'll bring grids and all kinds of things that we need for the trip up there. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a great trip, and I can only take 12 people on the boats. It's a 14-seater boat, but I'm only taking maximum of 12. So the first 12 people that book for it, you have your spot on the boat. The safari section, I can take 14, I can even take 16. It all depends on the arrangement between the vehicles, how many vehicles we ultimately have. Get your booking in early. Make sure that you plan this. Get this in your diary. It's going to be a great trip, and don't miss out. I don't know if I'm going to repeat it. It is a costly one, and money is a bit tight, but we'll see. If everybody wants to do another one, then we'll do another one. It's not a problem at all. But get your bookings in, and let's go out and see the Delta. Cheers.